The Galactic Council station hung in orbit like a monument to permanence. But what was about to happen inside would prove otherwise. In the Grand Chamber, hundreds of alien species witnessed the reading of Edict 552. Humanity's fate hung in the air.
By the authority vested in this council, Earth is hereby deleted from the Master Galactic Registry. Its recognition is revoked.
Murmurs rippled through the tiered seats. Some species looked pleased, others uneasy. An unprecedented humiliation. But in the human delegation's seat, Ambassador Christopher remained utterly still. His face betrayed nothing.
Let the record show that Edict 552 has been enacted. The human era in this council is over.
He simply sat, hands folded, as if waiting for a bus, not the erasure of his world.
You have nothing to say, Ambassador. No plea on behalf of your people.
Christopher merely met Vex's gaze, then a slow, deliberate blink. The silence was his answer. High Counselor Vex's crest stiffened. He had expected anger, denial, anything but this unnerving composure.
Earth acknowledges the Council's decision. The deletion is accepted.
You accept just like that?
With one small request, a certified copy of Earth's final entry in the registry for our historical archives.
A copy? Very well. Archivist Lear will provide it before the purge is complete.
A soft chime indicated the order was transmitted. Christopher inclined his head, the barest hint of a smile touching his lips. Deep within the station, the Master Registry archive stretched endlessly, thousands of glowing holographic columns.
Edict 552 confirmed. Initiating deletion sequence for species designation, Earth.
Her slender fingers danced across the interface. One column flickered, Earth's data glowing gold before the purge began. A ripple of white spread from the top, consuming character after character. Earth's legacy evaporating into nothing. A data chip materialized in Christopher's palm, the certified copy. He closed his fist around it, his expression unreadable. The final glyph of Earth's record dissolved into white. The column stood blank, an absence where a civilization once was.
Deletion complete. Earth is no longer a recognized species in the Galactic Registry.
The matter is closed. The human delegation is dismissed.
Christopher rose without a word, the data chip secure in his hand. His pace was unhurried, his expression unreadable. He walked past the watching counselors, each species regarding him with a mixture of pity and disdain. In the solitude of his office, Christopher slotted the data chip into a reader. Earth's history glowed before him, one final time.
And now we wait.
Earth is finished. They'll come crawling back, begging for scraps.
Christopher removed the chip and placed it in a secure drawer. The drawer slid shut with a soft, definitive click.
Such a small thing. A deletion. But something about this one felt heavy.
Christopher strode through the station's silent corridors. The data chip, a cold chip in his palm. No one stopped him. The human embassy stood quiet, its silver facade a stark contrast to the alien architecture around it. Inside, his private office was dim. He locked the door behind him. The only light came from the starfield beyond the window. He activated the secure terminal. Holographic screens flickered to life, awaiting his command.
Encryption protocols confirmed. Time to activate Protocol 9.
A burst of hyper-encrypted data shot from his console, routed through 17 relays across the galaxy.
Earth will feel the pulse in 18 hours. After that, the galaxy changes.
Then he shut down the terminal. The office became still again, as if nothing had happened.
They think they've erased us. They'll learn what erasure truly means.
Outside the embassy, the station hummed with indifferent life. No one saw the storm gathering. 18 hours later, a piercing alarm shattered the archive's silence. Red strobes painted the aisles the color of warning. At her console, Archivist Lear stared in disbelief. A cascade of error glyphs flooded the display.
This cannot be right. The deletion was restricted to Earth's column only.
A column across the aisle flickered, then bled white from its apex. Others followed, like a chain reaction of oblivion.
It is spreading. by the old archives. What have we done?
A system status panel blinked. Integrity check failed. The entire registry was rewriting itself to 0.
Seal the backups. We must isolate the contamination.
But on 89 worlds, silent alarms echoed. Every backup node was failing in perfect, horrifying sync.
No. No, no. The registry cannot be undone. It has stood for 50 millennia.
Her trembling finger stabbed the emergency broadcast. The council must be told. The archive chamber surrendered to a silent cataclysm. Every holographic column blazed white, erasing millennia of records in seconds.
It is gone. All gone. The registry is empty.
Her terminal displayed a single verdict: complete data corruption across all nodes. No branch survived. The emergency broadcast tore into the council chamber. A holographic feed of Lear, her face pale with shock, filled the central dais.
Explain yourself, Archivist. What do you mean the registry is gone?
Every column, every backup, zeroed. 89 worlds confirm the same. The registry is empty.
On 89 worlds, identical archives now stood as sterile white halls. Nothing remained. No trace, no record.
This is impossible. The registry has safeguards spanning millennia. Someone will answer for this.
But who could have done this? The deletion was only for Earth. Unless...
She stared at the single data point that remained, the deletion timestamp, linking 2 events she dared not connect. The council chamber erupted. Shouts and queries from 100 species turned the grand hall into a cacophony of fear and accusation.
Silence. We will have order, or we will have nothing. Somewhere there must be an explanation.
But no explanation came. Only reports. Constant, damning reports from every member world, each confirming the same catastrophe.
This is not random. It was triggered. But by whom?
Accusations flew wildly. Sabotage, contagion, but no one suggested the impossible truth. On 100,000 worlds, public screens flickered with the same breaking headline: Registry zeroed. All species legally unrecognized.
This is a lie. The council still stands.
But his words fell on a chamber of rising panic. The council itself was now a ghost, legally non-existent.
Earth. Could that human have known? No. They are too primitive. But the timing...
Outside, the galaxy began to fracture. 700 civilizations without status, without past, and no one to blame but the council. The chaos in the council chamber stilled. A single message appeared on every screen, overriding all emergency alerts. Recognition is no longer a council function. Earth offers replacement service.
Earth? The human? Impossible. They are nothing.
But the message bore the authenticated signature of the human embassy. Its timing was no coincidence.
He knew. That calm. The copy request. This was planned from the start.
Across the tiers, representatives whispered a single, terrifying name: Earth.
Get me the human ambassador. Bring him here now.
But the embassy remained sealed. On public channels, a second broadcast appeared, Earth's symbol above 2 simple words.
They are not just behind this. They own it now.
The galaxy watched. 700 species saw the old order crumble, and Earth offering to build a new one. On 1,000 worlds, the reaction was immediate. Some raged at human arrogance. Others sent desperate, pleading queries. A proud warrior race broadcast threats. They would never debase themselves to a primitive species. They would find their own way. But quieter civilizations sent tentative messages. What are the terms of recognition? How do we petition? In the human embassy, Christopher watched the communication screens flicker to life, dozens of channels opening simultaneously.
Begin processing protocols. Set up the recognition framework. We knew this moment would come.
The embassy staff, trained for this, moved with practiced efficiency. Holographic queues and processing halls activated. Soon, alien ships began arriving. Not warships, but small diplomatic shuttles carrying the first petitioners.
Let them come. Let them all come. We have made our point.
Outside the embassy, a line began to form, tentative, uncertain, but gathering species by species. The galaxy's oldest registry had fallen. Its replacement was just beginning to take shape. In the silent archive, Archivist Lear traced the corruption's origin past viruses and sabotage to a 2-century-old protocol. A forgotten treaty ceremony flashed in the data. A human hand clasping an alien's, a glowing orb of encryption keys passing between them. The treaty clause stated simply, Earth would hold custodianship of the registry's master encryption schema. Neutral. Permanent.
When Earth was deleted, the encryption key became orphaned. The registry's own security protocol triggered the zeroing to prevent unauthorized access.
In his office, Christopher received the notification that the encryption protocol was now public. He nodded, unsurprised.
2 centuries we held the key. They forgot. We did not.
The revelations spread across the station. Earth had not attacked. The Council's own edict had triggered the failsafe.
We set this upon ourselves. That cannot be.
A quiet smile touched Christopher's lips. The truth was out. The Council had destroyed its own foundation.
Recognition is no longer a gift. It is a petition.
In his private quarters, High Counselor Vex stared at the decrypted treaty clause. His claws dug into the console's edge.
Earth was the custodian. For 200 years, they held the keys to our entire legal existence. We forgot. The Council made this disaster. We deleted Earth, and the encryption protocol zeroed everything. There is no reversal.
Vex's admission sent a tremor through the tiers. The Council's own weight had triggered its collapse. On 1,000 worlds, the news transformed Earth's image from aggressor to unwitting failsafe. The petitions began in earnest. Outside the human embassy, the queue swelled with species who had once shunned humanity. They now carried formal petition cases.
They remember now. The old treaty, the forgotten favor, and they know we are the only door open.
Even the warrior race, once defiant, sent a single quiet envoy. Their petition was the humblest of all. The galaxy's path was now a one-way road. 700 species watched the queue and realized Earth held the only key. In the council chamber, Vex watched the streams of petitioners on the screens. The silence was heavier than any shout. Inside the embassy, the processing hall hummed with quiet efficiency. The first petitioner, a diminutive avian species, approached a desk clutching a data chip. The clerk inserted the chip into a sleek terminal. A gentle chime signaled acceptance. Earth's new registry logged its first entry.
Every acceptance builds the new order, but the proud ones, they will be the true test.
A burly reptilian envoy approached a desk, his armor polished but posture stiff. He placed a petition tablet on the counter without a word.
We do not ask for submission. We ask that you acknowledge a simple fact. Without our key, there is no registry.
The reptilian envoy, after a long pause, inclined his head. A silent acceptance. The tablet was processed. The terminal chimed again. Another species was recognized under Earth's new framework. Outside, a handful of species still held back, watching the queue with a mix of pride and desperation. Economic pressure mounted every hour. Christopher retreated to his private office, the weight of the day etched on his features. He allowed himself a brief moment of stillness.
Every petitioner brings us closer. Those who resist will learn. There is no alternative.
Weeks slipped by. The embassy's holographic counter ticked past 600 recognized species, each chime a nail in the old order's coffin. Christopher's face betrayed the strain, dark circles, a thinner frame, but his resolve remained an unbreakable rod. The council chamber, once bustling, now echoed with emptiness. Only a few stubborn species still refused to bow to Earth's new order. High Counselor Vex sat alone in his quarters, the silence pressing in. He knew the inevitable, but the words would not form.
700. It's a number that looms, but the final dozen holdouts they will break one by one.
Outside the embassy, the queue had thinned, but the line of proud species now looked less defiant, more desperate. Time was against them.
Send a notice to all remaining unrecognized species. The window for streamlined processing closes in 72 standard hours.
The message went out across the galaxy. Earth's patience was not infinite. The remaining species faced a choice: petition now or exist in limbo.
A deadline. The human is tightening the noose. We are running out of time to find a way that isn't complete capitulation.
The galaxy held its breath. 700 species now watched the Council's silence with growing impatience. In the Council's private chamber, the remaining members gathered. High Counselor Vex stood at the head, his scales dulled, his silence heavy.
I will not sign a petition to the species we erased yesterday. This is capitulation, nothing less.
A counselor from the merchant guilds countered sharply. Our trade routes are unrecognized. Our economy is freezing. There is no pride left to preserve.
Every word a blow. They speak the truth, but my hand still refuses to lift the stylus.
After hours of bitter argument, the vote was called. One by one, claws and tentacles rose in favor of petitioning Earth.
Then it is decided. The Galactic Council shall petition Earth for recognition. Draft the document.
The petition was prepared, a formal request acknowledging the Council's error and seeking recognition under Earth's framework. Vex stared at the final draft, his claw hovering over the signature panel. The silence stretched until it was almost a sound. With a shuddering breath, he pressed his claw to the screen. The document sealed with a soft final chime. The petition capsule was dispatched to the human embassy. The Council had bowed. Now the galaxy waited for the human's reply. A drone courier glided through the embassy's reception hall, a delicate council capsule glowing in its grasp. The crowd parted instinctively. Ambassador Christopher accepted the capsule personally, his fingers closing around the cool, smooth surface without haste.
So it arrives. The Council of 700, begging for a key they threw there, and threw they threw away.
He walked to his office and deliberately placed the capsule aside on his desk, next to a stack of other approved petitions.
The Council can wait. The Cathari merchant convoy petitioned at dawn. Let's process theirs first.
He returned to the flood of routine petitions, his movements unhurried. The capsule glinted under the desk lamp, untouched. In the Council chambers, Vex stared at the silent communication screen. Hours passed with no word. The silence gnawed at their confidence.
The human is making us wait deliberately. Every moment we are unrecognized, our influence vanishes further.
Christopher processed petition after petition, a trickle of latecomers, all approved with quiet efficiency, leaving the Council's capsule untouched. The capsule waited, its gentle glow a constant reminder. Earth's patience was no longer a request, it was a lesson. Day after day, the Council's messages grew sharper. The console blinked with a new line, response required. Now, Christopher read it with the same unnerving calm. He typed a single, bureaucratic line in return. Your petition is under standard review. Processing times vary.
Standard review. We ruled this galaxy for millennia. This is deliberate humiliation.
Every outburst is another day they remain unrecognized. Patience was never their strength.
At the embassy help desk, a clerk politely informed the Council's envoy that additional documentation was needed for verification.
He is bleeding us. Each day unrecognized, another trade partner turns to Earth. We are becoming irrelevant. Ambassador, we formally request a timeline. The Council cannot function without legal standing. Must we kneel further?
Forward all further inquiries to the standard queue. The Council will be notified when their petition is processed.
The Council's capsule still sat on his desk, its glow now a timer counting down to the deadline. Earth had made its point. With the deadline looming, Christopher finally lifted the capsule. The seal hissed open, releasing a faint scent of old parchment. He projected the petition document. Lines of formal council script filled the air, begging for mercy in the language of bureaucracy.
Acknowledgement of error is vague. No formal admission of council culpability. This won't pass without correction.
His fingers scribed a brief, pointed reply into the embassy's response system. Council petition incomplete. Provide explicit admission of error. Full accounting of Edict 552's procedural flaws and signed acceptance of Earth's custodial role.
He demands a confession. Every procedural flaw. Fine, give him everything. We have no bargaining power left.
Within hours, a thick supplemental file arrived, each page trembling with the Council's desperation. Christopher read it slowly.
Better. But the acknowledgement is still buried in legal jargon. I need a clear public statement, not hidden clauses.
He sent a final demand, a public broadcast, acknowledging Earth's primacy, to be aired on all Council channels before recognition would be granted.
A public broadcast. The final humiliation. But if it's the price of existence, so be it.
In the quiet of his office, Christopher tapped the final approval seal onto the Council's petition, but not without a lasting addition. The document returned to the Council chamber with a single added clause: recognition granted, contingent on public acknowledgement of Earth's custodial primacy.
He demands we kneel on every broadcast channel. A public confession that Earth is now the arbiter.
Whispers erupted into protest and despair, but the deadline offered no shelter for pride.
This is the end of the Council. Without this, we become a ghost council with no legal voice.
One councillor broke the silence, urging acceptance. There was no alternative.
Then let it be done. Transmit the acknowledgement. We will broadcast our capitulation at the appointed hour.
Vex's claw signed the acceptance protocol. The document vanished, bound for Earth. The chamber fell into a heavy silence. The Council had agreed to the terms. The broadcast was inevitable. Earth's embassy received the signed terms. Recognition would hinge on the coming broadcast. The appointed hour came without fanfare. Across 1,000 worlds, public screens flickered to life, displaying the Council chamber.
We, the Galactic Council, formally acknowledge Earth's primary custodial role in all recognition matters. Our deletion of Earth triggered this catastrophe. We accept Earth's authority as the new registrar.
High Councillor Vex bowed his crested head. The gesture was broadcast unedited, a silent admission to the galaxy. In the human embassy, Christopher watched the broadcast from his desk. A tired, knowing smile flickered on his lips.
And so the galaxy turns a page, not with war, but with a signature and a broadcast.
The embassy's tally hologram updated. 689 recognized species. The Council's icon shifted from pending to subordinate. Outside the embassy, the last petitioners were processed. The new order was no longer a question, it was fact. Christopher moved to the window. The starfield had never looked so calm, or so fully his. In the Council chamber, Vex descended from the podium. His silence spoke what no broadcast could. Earth had won. Christopher returned to his chair. The embassy was silent. The flood of petitions finally stilled. He reached for the secure drawer. The chip lay inside, glowing faintly. The chip sat in his palm, glowing with the history of Earth's last official entry.
This was our ghost, the final record of a civilization they thought erased. And they thought erased.
He turned it over, feeling the weight of what it had triggered. A galaxy reshaped.
Recognition is not a gift, it's a tool. They learned that.
A faint smile touched his lips, not triumph, but closure. The satisfaction of a page turned. He placed the chip back in the drawer, closing it with a soft, definitive click.
It's over. We did what we had to do.
The office dimmed. Outside, the starfield held its eternal peace, indifferent to the shift in power. In a new chamber aboard the station, the Earth Custodial Registry hummed quietly. Smaller, but bright with purpose, Archivist Lear stood before a console, her teal robes now bearing a small Earth insignia. A quiet surrender she had chosen.
Once I erased a species. Now I safeguard its foundation. The irony is not lost on me.
A simple holographic plaque glowed on the wall. Earth Custodial Registry, Year 1. A monument to the new order. Behind her, New columns of data flickered, not as vast as before, but growing steadily with each petition star.
We record not by force, but by request. Perhaps that makes it stronger.
Through the archive window, a starfield stretched peacefully, a galaxy no longer in crisis, but in a fragile new alignment. Earth's emblem stood at the center of the network, a quiet beacon. The old council was now but a node in the web.
I will ensure this archive stands, not out of fear, but because it is the right record to keep.
And the new registry continued to grow, one species at a time, under an Earth that had proved its point. Christopher stood at the window one final time. The starfield was unchanging, but the galaxy it held was not. In the hallway, the plaque glowed. Custodial Office for Galactic Recognition. It had once been just an embassy. In a learning center, a young alien traced a finger across a star map. Earth, it whispered, learning the new order. From a high balcony, Christopher watched the child. The wonder in that gesture was the true measure of their victory. He allowed himself a rare, full smile. Not triumph, but release. A weight carried for months finally set down. The drawer in his office remained closed. The ghost chip inside was a relic now, a souvenir from a time when Earth was erased. Behind him, the new registry continued its quiet work, columns of data shimmering with recognized names, a living, breathing record. The galaxy had not been destroyed. It had been reshaped, and for the first time, it was held by those who understood erasure. A long silence settled over the embassy, not a pause before more action, but the still point after a revolution. And then, like a breath, the stars moved on. The council was gone, the registry reborn. Earth had kept its ghost, and then used it.